Japan, a country whose astonishing journey of transformation and growth continues to inspire. However, merely 2 centuries ago, the idea that Japan, this very nation, would emerge as a global economic powerhouse seemed utterly improbable. So, how did Japan transform from feudal country to land of innovation, and who helped Japan to transform? Welcome to the World in Me project with Dr. Yeva Aleksanyan. Please press the like button, share our videos, and subscribe to our channel for more videos. You can visit our website at www.worldinme.info, link in the description, and explore more about our project, read articles and facts related to our videos. Japan's economic story traces back centuries, where its early agrarian society gradually evolved into a feudal system characterized by samurai warriors and a ruling class. With the rise of the samurai class and the establishment of feudalism, Japan entered an era of intense internal struggles for power and control. Such internal struggles eventually led to Japan's isolation, known as the Sukoku period in the 18th century. In this period, the country cut off almost all foreign contacts and sought to preserve its unique culture and traditions. For a while, Japan remained isolated and developed little, while the rest of the world was rapidly changing and developing. In the mid-19th century, Japan faced a defining moment. In 1853, Commodore Matthew Perry arrived with a letter from the American president urging to open the country to foreign trade. This presented Japan with a dilemma: either face the threat of colonization and erosion of sovereignty, or open the country to foreign trade. 1853 is regarded as the beginning of Japan's modernization. Opting for the trade, Japan embarked on what would become known as the Meiji Restoration. Visionary leaders like Emperor Meiji and influential statesmen such as Hirobumi Ito played crucial roles in guiding Japan toward modernization. Their progressive policies focused on education, infrastructure development, and the advancement of industry and trade. The Meiji Restoration marked the end of feudalism and the beginning of a new era of modernization in Japanese history. During the Meiji Restoration of the late 19th century, the country underwent radical changes. The Meiji government actively embraced Western ideas and technology, setting the stage for Japan's Industrial Revolution. Modernization efforts encompassed infrastructure development, railways, telegraphic communication systems, the establishment of an education system, and the abolishment of the samurai class. Such transformative reforms laid the foundation for Japan's future economic rise. As Jared Diamond explains in his book Upheaval, Japan, recognizing the need for rapid modernization and development, made a calculated decision to selectively send Japanese students to study in prestigious universities across Europe and the United States. In Europe and the United States, Japanese students studied science, engineering, economics, political science, and more. These individuals were expected to return to Japan as ambassadors of knowledge and progress. The Meiji government also adopted Western governance style or system and institutions. It reformed the law codes and designed the constitution based heavily on German constitution. The government also favored military reforms, which began with purchasing modern Western equipment or technology, enlisting French and German officers to train the army. Japan experimented with different European models to develop a modern Japanese navy and army. Overall, the Meiji Restoration shattered the barriers of isolation and launched Japan into a new era of modernization. Yes, Japan arrived late to modernization, but under huge influence from the West, Japan initiated concentrated efforts to bridge the developmental gap and catch up. The 20th century witnessed Japan's ascent to an industrial powerhouse. From shipbuilding to textiles, Japan's industries flourished, driving economic growth and prosperity. But as Japan modernized, it faced its own set of challenges. The country's imperial ambitions led to conflicts with neighboring countries. Japan achieved military victories, notably against the Chinese Qing Manchu dynasty in 1894-95 and Tsarist Russia in 1904-05. Taiwan was colonized, and in 1910 Japan annexed Korea, expanding its territorial reach and moving to invade China. Japan was fast becoming a major military power and shocking the world with its military might and influence in the region. In 1929, when the Great Depression ravaged the world, Japan too was in crisis. The country started to derive strength from its traditions of authoritarianism. Since the achievements of modernity had not managed to avert the crisis, the country adopted an aggressive policy of military force and chose fascism as a solution. The country's aggressive expansionism led to its involvement in the global conflict during World War II. Japan launched attacks and invasions in various countries and territories in the Asia-Pacific region. By 1941, the country was at war with the allied armies of the United States, Britain, and France. By the end of World War II, Japan was in ruins, both physically and economically. Over 150 cities were attacked by air, resulting in deaths of over 500,000 people, although I should mention that figures vary. However, it was perhaps the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki with atomic bombs that left indelible marks. Defeat came in 1945 with a formal announcement by the Emperor of Japan himself. For the next 6 years, Japan was occupied by the Allied forces, mainly United States, but under the symbolic figurehead of the Emperor. Soon, Japan's constitution was re-established, renouncing war forever, and in 1952, the country regained its sovereignty. And so began the post-war era, during which Japan started an impressive journey of reconstruction and economic growth and eventually emerged as a global powerhouse. So, what exactly did Japan do, and how did the Japanese economy transition from a war-torn state to one of the most thriving in the world? Well, of course, first and foremost, education. Japan's outstanding education system has been a cornerstone of its economic success. The nation places great importance on education, ensuring its citizens have access to high-quality schooling and fostering a culture of lifelong learning. Japan consistently ranks among the world's leaders in science, mathematics, and literacy. The importance of education is emphasized both at home and within the school system. Japanese educators dedicate considerable effort to teaching and ensuring the success of every student. If a student misses a lesson or falls behind, they can receive private lessons from the teachers in the staff room. Due to this vigilant care and extra effort by the teachers, a student rarely repeats a grade, and the entire class graduates on time. You might have come across videos or images of Japanese students participating in daily school cleaning activities. This practice, where students dedicate approximately 15 minutes each day to cleaning, is a great concept. It instills good values in kids. It teaches them from a young age that public space is a shared space and everyone is responsible for maintaining it. In Japan, the incorporation of moral education alongside academic subjects has been a long-standing approach. Why is this important? Well, a highly skilled, educated, and dedicated workforce has been instrumental in driving innovation and productivity. Therefore, economic growth. One of Japan's enduring strengths is its cultural values and work ethic. The Japanese people have a deep-rooted sense of discipline, perseverance, respect for authority, and dedication to excellence. We often hear terms Japanese-style management and Japanese work style. These extreme dedication and cultural traits translated into high productivity and the production of quality goods, making Japanese products globally renowned for their reliability and precision. The Japanese people's work ethic has been a driving force behind Japan's success for decades now. Certainly, this dedication to work is not without its drawbacks. The culture of intense work has given rise to personal issues, including depression and extreme exhaustion. In fact, the Japanese even have a term for this phenomenon known as karoshi, which literally translates to death by overwork. While such work ethics and culture have had negative effects on a personal level, such determination and commitment on a national scale played a crucial role in transforming Japan into an economic powerhouse. Another important factor contributing to Japan's economic success is its commitment to innovation. The country invested heavily in research and development, resulting in groundbreaking discoveries in various fields. This commitment to innovation has allowed Japan to stay competitive and maintain its position as a global leader in technology-driven industries. Japan's technological advancements have been at the forefront of its economic success. From robotics and artificial intelligence to cutting-edge manufacturing processes, Japan has consistently pushed the boundaries of innovation. Japan's success can be attributed in part to the government's strategic policies and long-term planning. By the way, here too Japan is unique. The Liberal Democratic Party held power in Japan for 54 years from 1955 to 2009. This continuity ensured the stability of economic policies and long-term initiatives. Unlike situations where changes in power could lead to policy reversals, Japan's single-party rule for such a long period allowed for the fruition of medium and long-term initiatives without interruption or reversal. Throughout decades, the Japanese government strategically invested in key industries such as steel, automobiles, and electronics, and took significant steps to promote export-oriented manufacturing and export-led growth. Japan focused on producing high-quality goods, especially in industries like electronics, automobiles, and machinery. Not immediately, but over time, Made in Japan became a symbol of quality and reliability, and Japanese brands gained global recognition and dominance. Additionally, Japan's geographical location and robust shipping infrastructure facilitated international trade, making it a formidable player in global markets. Today, Japan is engaged in extensive trade and investment relationships with countries around the world. Japan's main trading partners include China, United States, South Korea, Hong Kong, Australia, as well as other Asian and Middle Eastern countries. Meanwhile, the major investing countries in Japan are the United States, the United Kingdom, Singapore, the Netherlands, France, and Hong Kong. Have in mind that foreign investments do not only attract funds from overseas, but also attract highly skilled foreign professionals and technology, which contributes to innovation, supply chain resilience, job creation, and wage increases, as well as management sophistication. This is why Japan's open approach to global trade and investment and Japan's cooperation has facilitated economic growth and cemented its position as a key player in the global market. All this sounds amazing, but this is just a part of the story of Japanese economic miracle. Today, it's hard to tell what would have happened if the United States did not help Japan. Japan's military expenditure during World War II reached unprecedented levels as the nation engaged in large-scale conflicts across Asia and the Pacific. Japan adopted a total war economy, redirecting a substantial portion of its resources toward the war efforts. This included the mobilization of civilian industries for military production. Japan's militaristic ambitions and its mobilization of civilian industries for military production ended only in 1945 when Japan surrendered. The country was forced to undergo profound transformation, which included a significant shift in its approach to military expenditure. As part of the post-war reforms, Japan's military forces were disbanded, meaning that Japan was prohibited from maintaining an army or engaging in military production. Japan adopted a new constitution, renouncing war as a means of resolving international conflicts. Then Japan's national defense was largely entrusted to the United States, which stationed military bases in Japan as part of a security agreement. This arrangement allowed Japan to concentrate on economic development while relying on the United States for its security, often referred to as the U.S. security umbrella. So Japan could effectively free resources and focus on economic development. During World War II, intense Allied bombing campaigns targeted Japanese cities and industrial complexes, leading to the destruction of critical infrastructure and further straining the nation's resources. Now, the freed resources from not spending on military could be redirected towards rebuilding its war-ravaged economy, investing in infrastructure, education, and technology. It also helped that the United States recognized the importance of Japan's economic recovery and, under the guidance of economists like Joseph Dodge, helped stabilize Japan's currency and implement market-oriented reforms. The Dodge Line, as such policies became known, contributed significantly to Japan's post-war economic revival. The United States also provided extensive economic assistance to Japan during its recovery. American advisors played a significant role in helping Japan modernize its industry, infrastructure, and agriculture. Then came the Korean War of 1950-53, which had a profound impact on Japan's recovery. Japan became a vital supply base for the United States forces in Korea, leading to a large infusion of capital into the Japanese economy by the United States. The United States was also a big market for Japanese exports. Besides, the United States not only helped rebuild Japan's infrastructure and economy, but also played a crucial role in shaping the nation's political and social landscape. With the United States' financial aid and guidance, Japan was encouraged to adopt democratic values and market-oriented reforms. Japan's remarkable resurgence from the ashes to an extent owes to the support, guidance, and partnership with the United States during a critical period in its history. So yes, with help, Japan managed to rise from ashes and build one of the most enviable economies in the world. Japan is the fourth largest economy in the world, with first three being United States, China, and Germany. However, today Japan faces its own sets of challenges. Japan is currently facing significant demographic challenges, characterized by an aging population and declining birth rates. Why is this a problem? Well, as the population ages, there is a shortage of young skilled workers to replace retirees. This shortage affects various industries, including manufacturing, healthcare, and agriculture. Aging population also places an immense burden on the healthcare and pension systems. When the government does not receive enough tax revenues, Because of aging population, it has to make tough choices and divert funds from other areas to support the elderly. Finally, older citizens tend to save more and spend less, which leads to decreased domestic consumption, a vital driver of economic growth. Another big problem is deflation. Japan has grappled with deflation for over 2 decades. Deflation is the opposite of inflation. It is the decrease in general price level. Why sustained deflation or decrease in prices is bad for economy? Well, when people expect prices to fall, they delay purchases. So if I can buy a new car or an apartment tomorrow for a lower price, I will wait to buy it. This leads to decreased consumer spendings and can stifle economic growth. Such expectations of lower prices may also delay investments by companies, hindering innovation and economic expansion. To stimulate borrowing, investment, and overall economic activities, the Bank of Japan, which is their central bank, started lowering interest rates. As a result of a series of policy rate cuts following the bursting of the bubble economy in the 90s, short-term interest rates fell to almost 0% by the late 1990s. A glimmer of hope arose for the reversal of these trends in the last 2 years when inflation in Japan rose to just over 3%, marking the largest gain since 1982. So far, the Bank of Japan has been hesitant to tighten the expansionary monetary policy, but if inflation proves to be sustainable, I believe they would undertake such measures. Another Japan's problem is its financial obligations. Japan has one of the highest public debt to GDP ratio in the world, surpassing 260% of GDP in 2023. The country's extensive fiscal stimulus measures and social welfare programs have contributed to this debt burden. Unfortunately, this means that a significant portion of the annual budget is allocated to just interest payments, leaving less room for critical public investments. Finally, Japan faces various other risks that will require innovative approaches and well-thought-out policies. For instance, Japan, as a major exporter, is highly susceptible to global economic fluctuations. Trade tensions and trade disputes between major economies, such as the United States and China, can disrupt global supply chains, impacting Japanese exports. In the meantime, with growing Chinese influence and threat in the region, Japan has started actively seeking for new security partnerships. Especially, Japan-Australia security partnership has been deepening in the last few years. In 2020, Japan also showed interest in joining Five Eyes, an intelligence sharing relationship between Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Though Japan enjoys high levels of cooperation with Five Eyes countries anyway, but the argument for Japan to formally become the Sixth Eye has strengthened in the face of China's growing military and cyber capabilities. Finally, one of Japan's challenges is its susceptibility to earthquakes, typhoons, and tsunamis, which can disrupt infrastructure, supply chain, and production. For instance, the magnitude 9 earthquake of 2011, the Tohoku earthquake, was a devastating event that struck northeastern Japan. This earthquake and subsequent tsunami caused widespread destruction, including damage to critical infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and ports. It was then that the world witnessed the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant disaster. The disruption to infrastructure and supply chains impacted various industries, including manufacturing and electronics, with ripple effects felt globally. Overall, Japan's ability to tackle above-mentioned challenges will determine its economic trajectory in the years to come. Nonetheless, Japan stands as a great example that with few resources and right approaches, institutions, investment in human capital, and as well as right partnerships, it is possible to develop and achieve great economic success. This was the more recent history of the land of rising sun, the country that inspires many of us, and this was World and Me project with Dr. Yeva Aleksanyan. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos. You can also visit our website at www.worldandme.info and explore more topics. Stay tuned for our next video. I'll see you soon.